Hey everybody, Cinema Sickness here with another weekly watch video for you, where we take a look at all the titles that I've recently been watching, and I briefly discuss them. Got 10 more titles here to talk about, so let's get right down to it, try to get through these quickly. Yeah, right. So anyway, the first title we have up here is Lone Survivor, a movie I was definitely looking forward to checking out since I had heard such great things about this movie. Every review I heard was just off the charts. You guys, when I picked it up, said it was just fantastic. I had friends who said this movie was amazing. I just really wanted to check this one out, but going into it, I was a little scared, a little leery, because I didn't know if this movie was going to be just one of those, over-patriotic, go America, screw everybody else type films. I'm not usually into those films. I don't mind a good war story or anything like that, but some movies that are just overly patriotic, and I almost feel like blindly patriotic. I mean, I'm not anti-America, I'm not anti-patriotism. I just think patriotism is kind of like a form of respect, and respect should be earned, not just blindly given. So, I sometimes really just dislike those movies who are just too, oorah, just too, go America, screw everybody else type movies. I can't get into them so much. But this one was not like that, so I actually really enjoyed this. A great, I feel weird saying great story because, it's based on a true story. I don't know much about the true story, how much this is actually, how truthful this movie is. I don't know. It's a Hollywood movie, so I'm sure there's plenty of liberties taken, but how closely it sticks to the actual true events, I don't know. But regardless, the story is, it's a really great story, but it's a pretty messed up story. It's called Lone Survivor for a reason. This battalion goes off to assassinate a Taliban leader, and we only have one survivor, a lone survivor, and what they go through is insane. If this story is actually truthful, if what I'm seeing in this movie actually happens, if it wasn't overly embellished for Hollywood, holy crap, did these guys go through some, I don't even know what to say, just went through absolute hell. I mean, just the stuff they went through is, I couldn't even imagine that, falling off cliffs and being shot, and just how beat up and destroyed these guys were, and how they just kept fighting and fighting and fighting and fighting and fighting to survive. And it's nuts, and it gets pretty crazy right from the very beginning when they're spotted, and do they let these guys go? Do they kill these guys and their kids? Do what do they do? Just insane. So I actually really enjoyed this story. It's a crazy story, but a really good story, and when you see what these guys go through, it's pretty insane. Pretty insane to see what some Navy SEALs actually have to endure and what they can go through. So, again, not overly patriotic, which I liked. I just don't want a movie that's just shoving, America in your face. It's kind of just like, whoa, take a step back a little bit. Let's just hear the story, and they do a great job, and I really did enjoy that. Even liked at the end when they talk about the guy who saved Mark Wahlberg's character. I like when they talk about him, and they basically say, not all Middle Easterns are bad guys and whatnot. They tell you why this guy saved Mark Wahlberg, what his beliefs are. He's not Taliban, he's not evil. Just because he's Middle Eastern doesn't mean he's evil. And he saved him, and it's really cool to see the pictures of the actual real character and the real guy who saved him, together. They met up, and it's really cool, really nice, kind of like heartwarming story at the end, especially when Mark Wahlberg's character, is saying like, oh, he comes with me, and it really kind of, touches at the heartstrings a bit at the end. So, great movie. If you heard it's fantastic, that's because it is. Definitely check this one out. Very intense and very well done. And let me know, guys, how much of this is, I'm sure a lot of you out there know the true story. How much of this is Hollywood and how much of this is actual real? I would love to know. So leave some comments. Then I checked out a movie that I was really interested in checking out. As soon as I picked this one up, I had to see it. I love these British comedies, and I had to check it out, and that is Lucky Break. As it says, let's see, an escape comedy from the director of Full Monty, and it really had that Full Monty kind of feel. If you like stories like Full Monty, you're going to enjoy this one. It's that kind of comedy. It's not overly silly. It's not overly funny. It's just, it's British humor in a way. And one of the things I like about British humor is the fact that it's not so like in your face a lot like American humor is. It's more, tongue in cheek. It's more situation comedy. it's more smart comedy, I guess you could say. It's not like poop jokes and fart jokes and, and sex jokes and all the crap you see in American comedies. It's a bit more thought-provoking. You have to think about what you're laughing at. I actually really do enjoy that. And interesting story about these two really bad thieves who get caught immediately trying to rob a bank, and they go in the jail, and they're going to break out, but of course our one thief here falls in love, and he decides to stay behind. Bit of a spoiler there. Sorry, but you see it coming. So, but a great story. I love watching these people trying to escape, and I'm not going to spoil this part for you. Really cool escape plan. I actually really did enjoy it, and what they did. There's a cool twist. I really did enjoy the escape plan. So all in all, I would say check it out. If you like British comedies, if you like movies like The Full Monty, check this one out. It was enjoyable. I actually thought it was pretty cool, and I'll be watching this one again. Then I checked out Las Vegas, and I really do enjoy movies like this. I think this all stems from watching movies with my great aunts and my grandmother when I was a young child. I grew up watching movies that were meant for older audiences. I don't mean older audiences like, older like my father. I'm talking older like my great aunts, my grandmother, for like grandparent type audiences. I used to watch movies like that all the time with them. And I think from when I was a little kid, over all those years, I think I just developed this like taste for these movies, and I just really do enjoy them. And I really did enjoy Las Vegas. Definitely a movie meant for an older crowd. You're gonna be watching this one thinking, okay, this is meant for the grandparents, but it's really enjoyable to watch these guys who are definitely in their golden years and just having this like one last romp and just getting together and the craziness that ensues. Very, very enjoyable. Really did get a kick out of this one. I wouldn't say anything amazing, nothing mind-blowing, nothing you necessarily need to own, but if you're interested, definitely give it a read. Definitely check this one out if you have any interest in it whatsoever. It is certainly worth checking out. But like I said, it's not going to blow you away. It's something you need to necessarily have in your collection, but it is certainly worth checking out if you want to see it. So, great movie, meant for an older crowd, but still very enjoyable, even for a 30-something-year-old like myself. So next thing I watched, I can't physically hold up and show you, as I watched a ultraviolet digital copy that I have, and that is Corman's World, Exploits of a Rebel, which is really cool, all about Roger Corman, a fantastic documentary. It's really interesting, because Roger Corman, I mean, as you know, this guy is known for just pumping out movies left and right, and a lot of them being known as being pretty cheesy and pretty goofy movies. But one of the things I really like about the documentary is the fact that they kind of point out that Roger Corman's not really out to make a bad movie. He's not, he's trying to do them cheap and quickly, but he's not necessarily out to make a bad movie. He's trying to do good movies, and even some of the people point out in the documentary that some of his movies actually are pretty good. He's done some movies that actually are, a good caliber. They're not cheesy, they're not goofy, they're not schlocky. They're actually really well done. And he does, put a few of those movies out, and everything he does put out, he actually puts effort into it and does try. They might come out goofy, they might come out cheesy, but he's actually trying. I really like that. And the guy's still making movies. Very, very cool documentary. And I love how they talk to people like Ron Howard and Jack Nicholson. I mean, they talk to other writers, directors, actors, all these people who got their start with Roger Corman. They point that out a lot too, that there's so many famous people out there who got their start with Roger Corman in one way or another, whether he was writing or directing or acting. It's always, you can take them all back to Roger Corman. I think that's so cool. So really cool documentary. Definitely recommend checking it out if you like Roger Corman type movies. Just those cheesy horror movies or non-horror movies, action movies, and all just the great ridiculousness that comes out of the world of Roger Corman. If you like that sort of thing, definitely check this documentary out. Very well done, very enjoyable. I'll be watching this one over and over and over again. Then I checked out Percy Jackson, Sea of Monsters. Yeah, not so hot with this one. I enjoyed the first Percy Jackson movie. I mean, it didn't blow me away, but I thought it was enjoyable, so I looked forward to watching the second one, and yeah, not so much. First one was, like I said, enjoyable. Second one, I really couldn't get into this one so much. The story was just kind of meh. I also hate these fantasy movies where it's like our characters get into a situation, and instead of them having to figure out a smart way out of it, it's just kind of like, poof, this thing appears, and oh, they're free, they're locked in a cage, and oh, how are we going to get out? Well, poof, a magic key appears. There you go, we're out of the cage. It's like, okay, like everything's just handed these people. So I hate that. I kind of hate fantasy movies like that, and that's how this fantasy movie is. There's a lot of stuff just handed over to our characters, and it's like they never to think about something. They're about to die. They're in peril. Something's wrong. They need to figure something out, and just boom, it gets figured out for them. It's just like, what? So anyway, it's one of those films, but yeah, I wouldn't really recommend this one too much. I mean, it wasn't horrible. I guess it kept me entertained, but I just can't really recommend it. It was just not very good. I mean, if you've seen the first one and you want to see the story continue on, sure, check it out, but it just wasn't all that great. And it leads up to another sequel. So are we going to get a third movie? I have no idea, but I guess we'll see. I don't think this one did very well in the theaters, so we'll see if we get a third movie or not. But if we do, I'll check it out. But as far as this one goes, I mean, if you really want to see it, if it's something you're interested in seeing, yeah, see it. I'm not going to say, like, don't see this movie, it was horrible. No, again, it was okay. So if you really want to see this movie, check it out. If you've seen the first one and you're interested, sure, check it out. But if, Percy Jackson, Sea of Monsters is nothing that sounds interesting to you whatsoever, you have no interest in checking it out, then you don't need to see it. Then I checked out another movie that, once again, I cannot hold up and show you, and that is Machete, Maidens Unleashed, which is a really cool documentary all about the Filipino kind of film industry, sort of. It's when a bunch of Americans went to the Philippines and shot movies. And one of the cool things about this is the fact that Roger Corman did a lot of this. So I just watched that Roger Corman documentary. Now I watched this documentary, and of course they're interviewing Roger Corman and talking to him about his adventures in the Philippines. And it's really interesting to hear about all these movies that came out of the Philippines and all the different genres of movies. And then they also talk about what was going on in the Philippines, how things were kind of good, and there was like wars breaking out, and things got really bad, and people had to start like carrying guns with them and stuff, and just got to the point where they couldn't even make films in the Philippines anymore because things were just getting so bad there. They had to just stop doing that. And it's also really cool to hear from these directors and hear them talk about how, like, this was like the golden years for them. This was like, they look back so fondly on shooting in the Philippines. Apparently to them, this was like the greatest thing ever. I mean, they can make all these movies on a really low budget. All the help was dirt cheap. I mean, they just hired a bunch of Filipino people to just come in and just build sets and act and just do all this stuff. And they talk about it so fondly. And it's really nice to hear them talk about it that way. I really do enjoy hearing them just say how much they enjoyed making these movies, this time period of their life, how much they enjoy it. So pretty cool and a great documentary. It's very interesting here because, again, not only are you hearing about all these different movies that came out, different types of movies that were being made, everything from horror to action to just comedies, all these different types of movies that were being made in the Philippines. But it's also really interesting to hear, like, being able to hear about what was going on at the time in the Philippines that they were making these. And it's very interesting and just makes you kind of appreciate these movies a bit more, knowing that a lot of these directors and actors and stuff are making these movies in like really bad, kind of scary conditions. So very cool. Definitely check it out. Again, Machete, Maidens Unleashed. Great documentary. And then another title that, once again, I unfortunately cannot hold up and show you because I saw this one in the theaters. And I feel very privileged to have gotten the chance to go to this. And that was Angry Video Game Nerd, the movie. Yes, I actually went to one of the premieres. They're premiering it all over the United States, and one of the premieres was at the Colonial Theater in Phoenixville, Pennsylvania. You guys just recently saw me there. It's where they filmed The Blob, and they showed the movie there, and I was very lucky because it sold out apparently very, very quick. I just happened to be on the Angry Video Game Nerds website, like right when you like put up the video announcing these tickets were for sale, and I just bought a ticket. Now, usually I wait on these things. I'm not the type of person who's like, ooh, I really want to go to that. I'll buy a ticket right now. I'm not usually like that. I'm kind of a person who, I'll think about it. Maybe I'll get a ticket, maybe I won't. And kind of like wait till the last minute sometimes to do stuff like that. But for whatever reason, I just jumped on a ticket, bought it right away, and glad I did because they sold out like immediately. So I felt, again, very privileged to go there. It was really cool. There was a line. I've never seen a line this big. It was all the way around the theater and like back into the parking lot, like down to this other building. It was a crazy long line, but it was really cool. The movie, fantastic. If you like the Angry Video Game Nerd, if you watch his videos, it's like an hour and a half long video. It's really cool. I mean, yeah, he's not reviewing the movie or reviewing a game within the movie like he's doing in his videos, but it's still a really cool movie leading up to review because in the credits he does actually review E.T. and it's just such a funny movie. Constantly, winks and nods to video games, winks and nods to movies. I mean, for you guys out there who are like me and don't play video games, Don't worry about that. There's plenty of winks and nods to movies as well. Just tons of movie references all throughout this. It's not like he just said, screw movies, we're only going to do video games. Because that's one of the things about James Rolfe, the Angry Video Game Nerd. He's not, at least from what I've gathered, I mean, I don't know him personally, but he's a film buff first and a video game fan, like, second. It seems like video games were kind of just a hobby for him, just something he enjoyed, got a kick out of. And it's built into this big thing because his videos got really popular and whatnot. But he's still a film buff. He went to school for film. He loves film. You can just tell when he talks about film, he's so passionate. I can just tell there's so much more passion when he reviews a movie than when he reviews a game. I love hearing him talk about films. I wish he would talk about movies more than video games. It's kind of a shame, in my opinion. I think it's almost a waste in a way that he's known for video games and that he focuses so much on video games because that's, again, what he's known for. I almost think it's kind of a waste because he is such a great film buff. And I love when he talks about films, and it shows in this movie. He made a movie. So even though he is known for video games now and whatnot, and that's kind of his thing, at least he got to take that and turn it into something that he's super passionate for, a film. And that's really cool. It was getting so well done. I was blown away by it. I didn't know what to expect. It was going to be kind of goofy. What was the production going to be like? The production was great, but it was so much fun. I absolutely loved it. Everything from, guys in suits like Godzilla type stuff to just cheesy special effects thrown in just for fun to the really cool shooting locations. You're going to notice a lot of really cool things, miniatures, all kinds of great stuff. Absolutely fantastic. And if you like the Angry Video Game Nerd videos, you're going to want to check out the movie. It's just as great, but an hour and a half long. And then, of course, at the end, we do get, finally, the E.T. review. It was such a fun watch. Really enjoyed it, especially with the crowd. It was a really cool crowd. Really did enjoy watching it. They did a Q&A afterwards, which is really cool. Unfortunately, I had some questions for them, but they didn't get to me. They only had so much time. But still, very cool. And I would definitely recommend, if you get the chance to check it out, check it out. I personally would be buying the Blu-ray when it comes out. I got to owe myself a copy. It was great. So, yeah, again, I feel very privileged I got the chance to actually go see Angry Video Game Nerd, the movie. It was fantastic. If Angry Video Game Nerd is your thing, check out the movie. You're going to love it. So then I checked out Iron Man 3, and I went into this one also a little bit skeptical because, the first one was great. Second one, it was good, but not as good, I thought. All right, third one, it's going to be even worse, right? I actually like this one better than the second one, in my opinion. I really got a kick out of this movie. I thought it was even better than the second film. I thought they came back strong with this one. Really, really enjoyed the story. The bad guy was a little goofy because you have the bad guy, and then you have this, like, do I want to spoil this one for you? Let's just say that bad guy right there, a little goofy, especially when you find out the twist with him. It's yeah. Part of me was like, oh, okay, that part was a little bit goofy in my opinion. I mean, it kind of made me laugh a little bit too, but also kind of goofy. So I didn't really know what to take out of that. I maybe could have done without that. His character, was he really needed? I guess for the story, but I don't know. Maybe they could have gone a different direction. I'm not sure. But Robert Downey Jr. was great in it. Gwyneth Paltrow, she was good, but it's always funny seeing her do like action stuff. And there's scenes in this where she gets very, physical and starts doing big action stunts. A little weird to see that. I have a hard time seeing her, as an action star, and definitely doing some action moves in here. So, but regardless, I'm nitpicking this one. It was a fantastic watch. If you like the Iron Man movies, see the third one. It's great. I hear from comic book fans, they weren't necessarily so happy with it, so I don't know. Probably doesn't. I'm sure in the comic book world, this movie goes against the comic books. I have no idea. I don't read comic books. I watch these movies and take them for the movies. I don't take them for how much they stick to the comic books. And frankly, I wouldn't even care if they did stick to the comic books or not, even if I read comic books, because I feel they're different worlds. There's a comic book world, there's a movie world. They're different, in my opinion. They're two completely different universes in a way, if you want to ask me. That's how I feel. So, again, Iron Man 3, great. If you like the first two, see this one. You will not be disappointed. Fun watch. Robert Downey Jr. is great. You're going to get plenty of laughs, but there's also a lot of great action, a lot of great, just one great scene after another. Tons of fantastic action. See Iron Man 3. I really enjoyed this one. Cannot wait to check it out again. And then I watched a movie that got a lot of whys, and people stop doing that. If I'm watching a movie you don't like or you think stupid, don't leave a comment that says why. It's like, just I want to reach in my throat and smack you. Just why am I watching this? Because I want to see it. That's it. I want to see a movie. Why is such a weird question? The reason why I'm watching something is because I want to watch it, plain and simple. And what I checked out was Smurfs 2. Not so good. The first Smurfs movie was just alright. I didn't hate it. I mean, so many people bashed it. I just went, it was okay. You know what? It wasn't good, but I didn't hate it either. I just thought it was alright. The only problem is Smurfs 2 is a sequel to a movie that was just alright. A movie that I'm just like, that was mediocre. Making a sequel off a mediocre movie isn't usually a good idea. But with that being said, I didn't hate the movie. It started out kind of like iffy, but as it progressed, I was like, all right, this isn't horrible. So does this movie live up to the first one? I don't know. I would say it's a little bit worse than the first one. But it's hard to say because the first one really wasn't that great either. So if you like the first one, check out Smurfs 2. That's all I can say. If you enjoyed the first one, if you're a fan of the first Smurfs movie, then Smurfs 2 is probably your thing. It's worth checking out. If you hated the first Smurfs movie, why the hell would you want to check out the second one? And don't, because it's not as good. So yeah, I really wouldn't recommend Smurfs or Smurfs 2, unless you just really want to see them. But like I said, Smurfs wasn't the worst movie in the world. It gets destroyed by critics. A lot of people just hate that movie. Personally, I just thought it was okay. It wasn't horrible. And I kind of feel the same about the second one. It was just alright. But definitely worse than the first one. So take that for what it is. Smurfs 2, meh, not so good. And then the last trailer here I'm going to talk about is Noah. And I was really intrigued by this one too, because I didn't know what to expect going into Noah. I had heard I just heard such weird things. I heard some people say it was great. I heard some people say it was bad. And you got the critics who destroyed it. And and as I said when I picked this up, this was like the movie that's supposed to bring back the big epic biblical movies. It was supposed to bring back that genre, and it failed in the theaters. So is that genre gonna come back? Nobody knows. And I just thought, what is this movie gonna be? And I heard some really weird things about what was in this movie too. And I was kind of just really confused. Like, what the hell is Noah gonna be about? I mean, I know what it's about, but what's gonna be involved in this movie? And definitely not what I expected. I mean, now I don't know how truthful this movie is to what's in the Bible. I never read the Bible. I know an okay amount about the Bible. I used to go to Sunday school when I was a kid. I worked for a Baptist organization. I dated girls who are religious. I have friends who are religious who I've had conversations with. So, I don't know, it's not like I don't know anything about the Bible, but I don't know the story of Noah to a T. So anybody out there who's religious or has read the Bible or knows how much this movie actually stick to what's in the Bible. I'd be really interested to know about that one. But very interesting. Everything from these big fallen angel creatures, which I was expecting those to show up, to just Noah kind of being a badass in a way. I mean, him kicking some ass, and then at the end him being kind of a douchebag, and just I wasn't expecting this kind of sort of epic story in a way. I mean, I was expecting just him to build this ark, and what he has to go through to build an ark, but there's this army coming after him. Cain's coming after him, and just this he's got this big army, and just all the craziness that ensues, and how it's almost like the Bible meets Lord of the Rings in a way. That's a good way to put this. It's a fantasy movie. I mean, whether you want to say the story of Noah is real or not, I mean, it's up to interpretation. I mean, whether you want to believe in it or not, it's still it's done in a way of a fantasy movie. So real story, not real story, whatever. But it's still done in the way of a fantasy movie. So it's the Bible meets Lord of the Rings. That's a pretty decent way to describe this. That's kind of what it felt like. So did I enjoy it? I actually did. I thought it was a pretty decent movie. I like the fact that it was all, this big epic kind of fantasy movie. I kind of enjoyed it. It wasn't what I expected. I just expected this kind of, maybe a little bit of a lackluster kind of biblical movie, but instead I got a kind of Lord of the Rings-ish type film, and that's fine by me. So I enjoyed it. Thought it was pretty decent. The ending was just kind of but surprised the hell out of me. I was not expecting to like this one as much as I did. So, again, I'm not going to say it's anything mind-blowing or anything that blew me away. It's something you need to see, but it's at least worth a rent. If you're interested in checking this one out, I'd say at least give it a rent to see what you think. So I actually enjoyed it. I was pleasantly surprised. Again, not what I was expecting. Not that I really knew what to expect going into this one, but I certainly didn't expect what I ended up getting. So, like I said, it's nothing like, again, nothing you need to rush out and see, nothing you need to own within your collection, but I would say it's at least worth a rent. If you want to check this one out, give it a rent, see what you think. So, Noah, I actually really enjoyed it. Alright, guys, so there you go. That is it. That's the last 10 titles I recently checked out, everything I've been checking out over the past week. A lot of great stuff. Smurfs 2, not so great. Percy Jackson, not all that hot either. But, again, neither of these movies were horrible. If you're interested in checking them out, see them. They're not, like, the worst movies ever. They at least kept me entertained. They kept my attention. So, both of these films, they're not garbage. They're just not great either. And everything else I checked out, I love. So, anyway, guys, that is it. So, like I always say, if you like this video, please give me a like. If you are not already subbed, please do. And if you're not already over at cinemasickness.com, head on over there, check it out. A lot more to see there than just these videos. All kinds of updated information on deals that I find that are going on. Also, a lot going on with Team Sickness as well. If you like my videos, check out their videos also. And of course, while you're there, be sure to click on the merchandise tab and purchase yourself a Cinema Sickness sticker and or a Cinema Sickness button. They're dirt cheap, and I would certainly appreciate your support. And of course, you can find links to all my social media sites, Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, all that stuff. It's all there at cinemasickness.com. So that's it, guys. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you tomorrow. Bye.